To make your Roman aqueduct, you will need a cardboard box, some paper, scissors, glue, sellotape, and a lot of imagination. You'll also need a ruler or something to measure with and a pencil. I've used a really big box just so I can make it really clear for everyone, but it doesn't have to be as big as my box. It can be really any sized box that you like, just not too small. So you can see my box is probably way too big, so I don't need all of this. You should probably use a bigger or a smaller box, sorry. The most important parts I need the sides. I'm going to use the two long sides. I could use the short sides. I'm going to use the long sides. So I need the sides. That's really the most important bit for my aqueduct. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut my box up a little bit and get those sides ready. So I've got my two sides. I just need to check that they're the same. Like then I can see one is a little bit bigger than the other. So if I show you, you can see it sticks out at the end. So I'm going to try and make sure they're about exactly the same size. So my two sides are the same. So these are going to be my base for my aqueduct. So where the water would go on top. Now when we looked at aqueducts, we knew that they always had arches to hold them up, because arches we found out were very, very strong. So what I'm going to do, I am going to make some arches. So one side of my box is white and the other side is brown. I'm actually going to keep it the brown side this time. In the video for our archway, I made it white because the stones for those were more white. But for the aqueducts, it was maybe a bit of a browner type stone. So you need a ruler and a pencil. I've got a pencil, but I'm very fancy and professional. I've got a measuring tape. So I'm just going to measure the size of this. So this is it's about 52 centimeters, okay? So I think I would like maybe four arches. So what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to use my math skills and I'm going to say what is 52 divided by 4. So I'm going to use bus stop method, which some of you might know, some might not know. We'll learn it later this year. So 52 divided by 4. How many 4s go into 5? There is 1 4. And we need to then take that away. So 5 minus 4 is 1. 1 remainder, and then the 2 comes down. How many 4s are in 12? There are 13. So that means my archways can be 13 centimeters each. But if I do that, it means I'll have no space, because that will be exactly this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make each one 10 centimeters, which means if I have 13 minus 10, I'm going to have 3 centimeters of space between each one. You can see I've done the maths, so I can't be wrong if I've done the maths. Okay, so I'm going to measure with my pencil a space of 3 centimeters, and then another 10 for my arch, then 3 for my space, and then another 10 for my arch, and then 3 for my space, and then another 10 for my arch, and then 3 for my space, and then another 10 for my arch, and I'll have 3 for my space at the end. Now, I don't have a ruler. I should have a ruler with me. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to mark it. So you can see on this one, I've got a gap of 3 to leave a space, and this is my 10 centimeter space where I'm going to do my arch. So what I need to do is I need to sketch my arches using my pencil. I don't want to go too high because we have to have support up here. We have to make sure it's strong. So I'm going to draw my arches first before I cut them. So I've drawn my arches. They're not perfect. It's hard to draw on this cardboard. You could do a better job than that, definitely. But you can see I've drawn them in place. So now I need to cut them out. Now I've got one side done with arches. You can see the shape. you can see that I've got some pencil marks on mine, but that's fine. You can rub those out, or you can cover it with paper to make it even more neater. So a quick way I could do the next one without measuring, if I just put it in place like this, then I can just trace my pencil marks. So I'm going to trace my pencil marks this time. So I've done my pencil marks on the second side much quicker because I just traced them on there. They're going to be the exact same as the first one. So I'm now going to cut this one out. So I've got two parts to my aqueduct. I've got two sides, but if I let go, they just fall over. So I need to make it more secure. So the next thing, I've got my archways for both sides of my aqueduct. But we know the aqueduct was used to bring water to the city, so we need somewhere for the water to go. So you need to then have a piece of cardboard that's about the same length as your arch pieces. If you don't have another one that's that long, you can just make your arches a bit shorter and then you can use that space. So I'm going to use this one that's about the same length. You can see it's pretty much the same length. I'm going to cut out a thin strip. Not too thin. So I'm going to cut out a strip like this. So when I've cut it out, I've just got a thin strip like this that will go between the two archways to join them together. How I'm going to do that is I'm going to fold them over. So you can see mine's going to be quite thin. So this is where the water would flow through. You can make yours a bit bigger if you want to. So what I will do, I'm going to glue these together or tape these together. And it should start to be a bit stronger, a bit sturdier. And you can see my design, how it's coming together. So I'm going to stick these together right now using some glue or some sellotape, probably a bit of both to make sure it's strong and secure. So when you've made yours, you might find that the ends are a bit loose, so you might need to just secure it with more tape to make it stronger, because you can see mine, it will stand, but I need to add a little bit more tape or glue at the ends to hold it in place. And then, like before, the arches need more support, so I'm going to put a base of cardboard underneath and stick it to that. So to get it on the base, I've made some small pieces of cardboard that I'm going to fold. Okay, fold over like an L shape. And what they're going to go to do, they're going to go on the end of each archway, folded in half, so a bit stuck on there, and the other bit will be stuck onto the cardboard, and that will secure it in place. So I put my support pieces in place. I used a big long piece of tape that held it down the whole way and wrapped it under. So now I've got one side that will hold in place and will stand, and you can see it kind of stands already. I just need to do the exact same to my other side. Put my support pieces and then tape it down. And there is my finished Roman aqueduct. So I've taped it. You can see my support pieces are there, my long piece of tape to hold it in place. I've got the middle bit where the water would go as well. Now my aqueduct was pretty basic, there's no extra designs, so maybe you could you add some designs with your pencil to the side, could you add some detail on the columns, anything like that, be as creative as you can.